Hello and welcome to day 35 of home learning. It's Friday the 5th of March 2021. We're nearly at the end and you're nearly back to school. How exciting. Okay, so early morning work. The sentence today is rapidly Marlon ran like the wind towards the finish line, hoping to be awarded first place. So can you pause the video now and after writing today's date, can you write that sentence, please? Excellent. So, number one, add the missing capital letter. I'm not going over that one. Number 4, number 2 should be identify a simile. Okay, we have learnt about similes this week. Rapidly, Marlon ran like the wind towards the finish line, hoping to be awarded first place. What does a simile look like? Think about it. Have a look through your last pieces of work. Number 3, identify the verbs. Remember, the verbs are action words. Number 4, identify the adverb. Remember, an adverb tells you how you are doing something. And then number 5, change the adverb without changing the meaning of the word or the sentence. Okay, so you need to think of a synonym. So pause the video now whilst you do those 5 questions. Okay, so let's have a look at the answers. One of the answers was wrong on the PowerPoint, so I needed to change it. Okay then, so rapidly, Marlon ran like the wind towards the finish line, hoping to be awarded first place. So the first one was the capital letter. Yeah, for Marlon, because it's someone's name. Number 2, it was identify the simile, and it was like the wind, because Marlon ran like the wind. And if it has like or as, it's a simile. Then you had to look for the verbs, which were ran and hoping. And the adverb is rapidly. I know that it's a adverb because it ends in ly, because quite a lot of them do. It has a comma after it. And also it describes how Marlon ran. And my synonym that I chose was quickly. How did you do? I hope you did really well on that one. And if you got the simile wrong, then there will be bother. Okay, so let's get on to our English. You do need chapter 10, which was in your packs. I've put the paragraph, the pages that we're going to read up. Okay, so we're going to read the first couple of pages of chapter 10. Okay, so are you ready? I know it might be hard to read, but at least it's there. So chapter 10, Thursday. The Thursday celebrations were a truly spectacular occasion. The hairy hooligans, fierce rivals, the meatheads from the nearby Meathead Islands, sailed across the inner ocean to the Isle of Burke for this great gathering. The visitors set up camp in Black Heart Bay, which turned overnight from an empty desert of echoing seagulls into a bustling village of tents made out of sails, too patched to be used at sea anymore. By the next morning the long beach was packed with stalls and jugglers and fortune tellers. There was a happy confusion of Vikings spotting old friends and practicing their swordplay, and yelling at the children to stop hitting each other right now, for Thor's sake. No, I really mean it this time, or else. Vast Viking men sat on uncomfortable rocks. Guffawing loudly like gigantic sea lions in a holiday mood. Impressively large Viking women huddled in groups, cackling like seagulls and downing whole mugs of tea in one swallow. Despite old Wrinkly's gloomy forecasts of terror storms and typhoons, it was a gloriously hot June day with not even a hint of a cloud in the offing. The young hero's final initiation test would not start until 2 p.m. that afternoon. So Hiccup spent the morning listening round-eyed to storytellers tell tales of dirty Danes and pirate princesses. He was sick with nerves, so found it difficult to enjoy the occasion as much as he had done in previous years. Even Gobber throwing up during the "How many gulls' eggs can you eat in 1 minute" competition failed to raise more than a faint smile on his pale, tense face. Hiccup's family had a picnic lunch overlooking the axe fighting display. Hiccup could not eat a thing, and not unusually could Toothless, who was in a difficult mood, and turned his nose up at the tuna sandwich Valderrama offered. "Good to keep your dragon's appetite sharp for the game," boomed Stoic the Vast, who was in an excellent mood. He had won a bet on Goggle Toad in the ugliest baby contest, and was looking forward to seeing his son's brilliant display during the initiation test. As the day wore on, a hot wind suddenly started blowing out of nowhere. It was still sweltering, but ominous grey clouds were gathering on the horizon. There was the odd rumble of thunder in the air. Maybe old Wrinkly had been right, thought Hiccup as he gazed toward upwards, and Thor was going to put in his traditional appearance at the Thursday celebrations. Pop will all yous hoping to be initiated into the tribes this year please make their way to the ground at the left of the beach. Hiccup gulped, nudged Toothless, and stood up. This was it. Hiccup was one of the last to get to the ground, which was a large area of wet sand just at the edge of the sea. The boys from his own tribe were already assembled, their dragons hovering a couple of feet above them. Everybody was chattering excitedly, and even Snotlout was looking nervous. The meathead boys and their dragons seemed to be gigantic, tough, rough-looking customers, far tougher than the hooligans. One in particular was a great hulking brute of a boy who looked 15 at least. Okay, so what we're going to do is I want you to go back to page 117. Now that's the very first page of this chapter. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be writing a description. Okay? So what I want you to do first is you listen to it. If you need to go back and rewind, if you haven't got the text, you might want to listen to it again, or you might want to listen to it even if you have the text. And I want you to draw what you think the village is like. Once you've done that, what I would like you to do is you've drawn the village, okay? Because using the description, the information you have in the text, okay? I want you to put some labels on there. So your labels will say things what you can see. So if you go back, you can see that it's a bustling village of tents made out of sails. So you might draw some big tents and label them. Okay? You might draw some stalls and some people juggling and some fortune tellers. Okay? Use the information that we've read and put that on your picture. Okay? Over the last couple of pages. So what I would like you to do first is write today's date and target. So the date is Friday the 5th of March 2021. I can use the text to infer information as your target. And what information on that page might help you, and I've gone through that, about the tents made out of sails. Okay? About the fortune tellers and the stalls. Okay? So once you've done, pause the video now, and then what I would like you to do is come back to me once you've done that. So use the text in front of you or go back and listen to it again. So you might want to listen to it first, again, then draw it, then listen to it again to do your, and keep pausing after you've done your drawings and write on your labels. So that's the first job. So off you go. So your next job to do today is that you are going to imagine that you are in the village. Okay? So you're going to use some of your senses to be able to explain what you can see, hear, feel, or smell. So, on your page, I would like you to pause the video and fold your page in half and then half it again. So you've got 4 boxes, and then you can write see, hear, smell, and feel. So in the see part, I'm going to say, what can I see? And I'm going to write packed stalls. Okay? Wish I could. Okay. What can I hear? Well, sometimes it's not written down there, but if you can imagine that the place, the village, it's bustling, isn't it? So what's happening? Okay? I can hear the swords clashing together. And my writing's dreadful. Okay, so you get the idea of what you need to do. So can you pause the video now and complete that? Okay then, some of you are back to school on Monday and some of you aren't. If you are not in school on Monday, what I would like you to do is write a description. So you'll have 1 paragraph about what you can see, 1 paragraph about what you can hear, 1 paragraph about what you feel when you're there, and 1 paragraph about what you can hear using your 4 boxes. Okay, so I should have 4 paragraphs of decent size. Okay? Brilliant. Thank you, Year 4. Right. Are you ready for your maths? Can you find the sheets that I've got here? Because we're all on different days. Okay. So you've got your sheets. So now you've got some events. And what you need to do is you need to decide which of those events go in the morning or afternoon, because we're using AM and PM. So, who can remember what AM and PM mean? Yeah, AM is from midnight to dinner time, which is the morning. And PM is after dinner until midnight, which is afternoon, evening. Okay? So, let's have a look at them and see which ones you would write in where. So we have sunrise. Now, sunrise, it pretty much explains what it is. It's when the sun's coming up. And when does the sun usually come up? Does it come up in the morning or does it come up in the afternoon? Yeah, it comes up in the morning. So you will write sunrise in the morning box. Okay? Then, if I went to gymnastics practice, would that be morning or afternoon? It's usually after school, isn't it? Which is on an afternoon. So I would put gymnastics here. And I'm just going to write gym because it's very hard to write with my laptop. Okay? So you have to do the same with all the rest. Does everyone understand that? I think that's pretty easy to do. Okay then. So remember, morning is AM, PM is afternoon, night time. So number 2 is one of the times is when Dexter starts school. Which do you think it is? Take your answer. It does say talk about it with a partner, but can you tell me why? And I'm not going to help you any further because I've given you pretty much the answer just before we started on question 2. Then let's have a look at number 3. One of the times is when Rosie goes to bed. Which one do you think it is? And instead of talking to a partner, can you write down why you ticked that one? So is it 7:30 a.m. or 7:30 p.m. when Rosie goes to bed? Number 4. I will help you do the first one and show you how to do it, and then you have got to do the rest yourselves. So it's saying tick the earliest time in each set. Now, I thought it was to put them in order of time. So I think that would be better. So which time do you think is the earliest? So if you have a look at all the yellow, actually we'll do C, okay? Because all the yellow ones, they're all AM. So you have to decide which is the earliest. Look at the hours and then go from there. It's the same with B, they're all PM. But C and D are all mixed well, they're both AMs and PMs. So if I was putting it in from the earliest time, would it be AM or would it be PM? Yeah, it would be AM. So I'm going to have a look at AM. I've got 9:13 AM or 7:59 AM. So which one would come first? I think it's going to be, well, I know it's going to be 7:59 AM. And I know that because 7 comes before 9. So I'm going to write 7 and my colon. And I'm going to write 59 AM. And then my next one is going to be 9:13 AM. 9, my colon, 13 AM. Oh, and I'm going to cross those out because I know I've used them. Now I'm looking at the other two, which are PM, which I know comes after AM if I'm starting from the earliest time. So, which one would come first? 6:18 PM or 10:11 PM? Yeah, it would be 6:18 PM. So 6:18 PM. And then I'm going to cross that one out. The last one, 10:11 PM. And then I would like you to do exactly the same for the other three. Okay? Does everyone understand? Brilliant. Now this time you've got to do exactly the same, but you're starting from the latest time. Okay? So let's have a look at A and we'll have a look at them. And I'll show you how to do A and then I'll show you how to do C, which is mixed. So which is the latest? I've got 9, 6, 10 and 7. Well, I know 10 is the latest. So I've got 10, 11 AM. And then I'm going to cross that one out because I've done it. Okay then, which is the latest now? I've got 7, 6 or 9. Yeah, 9. 13 AM. So I'm going to cross that one out. Okay, which is the latest now? 6:18 or 7:59? Yeah, 7:59 AM. And then I've got 6:18 AM. And I'll do the same for C. But this time, if it's the latest, is PM going to come first or AM? Yeah, PM will come first because it is in the afternoon. So which one would come first? Which is the latest time? Yeah, it's 10:11. Crossed it out. Then it would be, oh, I've got another PM. So that would be 6:18 PM, and I've made a mistake, haven't I? That should be a PM. And then I've got AMs, haven't I? So now I've got to decide which is the latest, 9:13 or 7:59. Yeah, we've got 9:13. And then I've got my 7:59. Okay, so that's what you need to do when you come to that one. Okay, so let's have a look at number 6. 12:15 p.m. is later than 4 p.m. because 12 is greater than 4. Do you agree with Annie? Remember 12:15. What time would that be? 12:15. What about 4 p.m.? Would that be earlier or later? Have a think. I don't agree with Annie because 12:15 is earlier than 4 o'clock. Right, exactly what we've already done before. You've got to order those times from the earliest to the latest. Now, it is 9:30 in the morning. Can you show both of those times by drawing the hands on the clock? Remember the hour hand and the minute hand and the sizes? And can you do it digitally, please? Okay? I'm not helping you with that. You have done them. Tom gets to the cinema at this time in the evening. Here are the film times. So what time does Tom get to the cinema? He's then got film times at 9 a.m, 12:15 p.m, 3 p.m, 6:30 p.m, 7:15 p.m, and 9 p.m. Okay, now if you listen to the instruction, it said Tom got to the cinema at this time in the evening. So which would be the first screening of the film that he could go to? You have to decide and tell me why you think that. Okay? So now pause your video while you do your worksheet. Thank you. Okay, so Friday the 5th of March 2021, and I can understand who helps create books and make my own. So, who helps to create a book? So we're going to look at the many people and roles that go into the production of a book, because we know an author writes the book, and basically that's about, and an illustrator does the pictures, yeah? So, in a book, there are many people who, when an author writes, that do the job. So you've got a publisher, you've got a proofreader, you've got an editor, and a printer, marketer, a marketing person, someone who works in the bookshop, a bookseller, you've got a customer, the illustrator, the author, and the designer. Okay, so the designer might do the front covers and such like. Okay, so your job today is you are going to go back and research one of the jobs on the previous page using Google. Okay, so if I was to say I'm going to research an editor, these might be the questions that I put into Google. What does an editor do? Then I'll write my notes. Then what are their roles and responsibilities? So what do they do? And how much are they paid? And what makes the person good at the job? Okay? So once you've done all of that, why don't you pause the video now and go and complete that and then come back. So you've only got one more job to do afterwards. Okay, so you've found all of your information. You are going to create a job advertisement for your chosen job. So this is my job advertisement. You can use the subheadings, and that is the information. That's what's been underlined, but you must create your own. You can't just copy off mine. Okay, so my vacancy, that's a job for an editor. So my job description, we are looking for an editor with a good sense of what makes an interesting angle to a story. So they must know what makes a story interesting for the readers. And they need to juggle all the moving parts of publications. You will plan, coordinate, review and edit content. The successful candidate will be able to decide which ideas should be pursued and which should get dropped in order to meet quality and accuracy standards. The goal is to provide exceptional, informative and engaging content. So my responsibilities. You will need to coordinate online or print publishing cycles and manage content areas, set publication standards and establish goals and expectations. You will suggest stories and generate headline ideas depending on who your target audience is. You will oversee layout, which is the artwork, design, photography, and check content to make sure that it's accurate and it hasn't got any errors. You will proofread, edit, and improve stories or pieces of writing. You will recruit and manage writers and reporters. You will cooperate and liaise, so that means discuss with designers, photographers, advertising reps, writers, artists, etc. And you will comply with media law and ethical guidelines, and you must be able to meet deadlines and budget requirements. So they're the responsibilities that an editor must have. So what requirements am I looking for? I'm looking for someone who has proven working experience as an editor. So you must have worked for an editor before, You must be a very good writer who is good at editing and proofreading and have those skills and have an excellent portfolio. So you will have excellent examples of your work. You must have had hands-on experience with Office and InDesign and Photoshop, which are on publishing tools that you use on a computer. You must be familiar with SEO and social media best practices. So you must know all about those things. You must have excellent written skills in English. You must have an eye for detail along with critical thinking. You must be experienced in prioritizing and multitasking, so doing more than one thing at a time or working with more than one person. You must hold a degree in journalism or in a related field. So I want you to do the same for one of your jobs. Use your Google Mind, okay? So then once you are finished, I want you to read a book in a quiet place and just enjoy. And I will see some of you on Monday I will see some of you on Wednesday. Okay? If you are working at home until Wednesday, you've got things in your work pack that can keep you busy to Monday and Tuesday. Okay? So, au revoir for now. Enjoy your weekend and I will see you next week. Goodbye.